Hello, all in leader. How are you all doing today? I'm so excited to be here. I'm honored. Thank you so much, Kimberly, for asking me to be a part of your amazing group. I get so much value and insight, not only from Kimberly herself, who is also my personal coach, but just from everyone else's input in this group too. So I learned so much from all of you incredible leaders. Um, just a quick introduction, if we have never met before, my name is Ashley South. My highest rank, and we'll talk about that in a minute, is a National Executive Director with a company called Color Street. I know some of you are with Color Street, many of you are in other companies or businesses. And so I began my small business journey about 20 months ago. So I have not quite been 2 years. It'll be 2 years at the very end of October. And it has been a whirlwind of a year and a half for me. There's been a lot of blessings, a lot of changes, some big dips, some crazy turns, and we're going to talk about that and how really we can just overcome that with mindset, I think. Hi, I see you guys jumping in the comments. Let me know where you're from and what business you're with in the comments. If you're just jumping on, I'd love to know who I'm talking with today. If you're watching the replay, go ahead and throw that in the comments too so we can interact. So I had zero experience in sales. I'm a mom of four. I come from a law enforcement background. Had never done sales, not even direct sales, but I'm talking never even sold my kids fundraisers. Refused. Initially just joined because I love the product of my company and quickly realized the potential in direct sales and that I was already good at building relationships. I had done this my whole life. I can build relationships. I was talking about cute stuff already with my friends. It was much easier to sell a product and eventually grow a business than I had ever imagined in my head. I think I had just imagined it to be spammy or creepy or whatever, and it was organic and natural and fun, and I was good at it. And I very quickly blew up. I grew a team. I worked very, very hard, very hard. It was not luck. It was not anything that came to me by chance. I failed circles around everyone else. I failed 10 times more than everyone else was willing to fail and mess up and look stupid. And I succeeded very fast. I hit an executive director level within 5 months, and I hit national level within 9 months. And so I found myself very quickly with a large team, a huge team, a very high rank, and I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? And this, mind you, we're a COVID team. So a lot of people in our line of work had developed systems slowly over time. They knew how to onboard. They knew how they had these, leadership training series, and I didn't have any. I was running and gunning and built this huge team in the middle of COVID because no one else had anything to do. People were sitting home. They wanted to do things. And here I was with this huge team, and COVID drastically impacted our business for the positive. We were in a 300% growth rate. It was crazy stupid. There were months where I enrolled 16 people, quite a few months where I enrolled 16 people, 15 people. I couldn't even keep up with it. And because of our comp plan and our strategies, I was able to make placements under some of my leaders. So not only did I grow myself, I grew businesses for some of my stronger, more deserving leaders. And so then, recently, I'm sure you guys have all been feeling this in your businesses. I know Kimberly and I have talked. We're feeling kind of a lull. Some of us are freaking out about it. I'm going to talk about why you shouldn't be doing that and why it's actually a blessing. But COVID and the freak out and the stay in your homes has kind of ended, and so the world is going back to normal. Our businesses are not suffering. That year and a half of COVID, at least for my company, was a gosh darn gift. We should be thanking our lucky stars. It was not owed to us. I don't think that I'm not saying COVID was a gift. I'm saying that if it benefited your business, be grateful. Be grateful, but don't expect that level of normalcy, okay? And especially for my team and my leaders, it was a huge hit because they didn't know anything before that. They came in and we didn't have to host parties. We're a party plan company. They just would post and things would blow up and things were out of stock and people were running to get nails, and they didn't really have to work that hard. And so now it's been a really big transition for especially my team to have to relearn the ropes and pivot and relearn how we run our business for the better. Long term, this is the best thing that ever could have happened to us. And hardships happen, okay? So I had one of my greatest friends and one of my best leaders leave our company, which drastically affected my rank. I went from a national executive director down to barely senior director, maybe executive on a good month. So I'm talking huge sums of money lost. I'm talking about someone that I really care about as a person and loved leading with, and my team loved her, and they were very well meshed with her, and she had a lot of clout with my team. She went on to do something that made her happier, and I couldn't be happier for her. But that I could have allowed that to just destroy me. And like in a month when my team sales were down, our group volume was down, people were dropping like flies from the company, and I lost my best gal. But I saw it as an opportunity, and I saw it as a gift, and I wanted to show my team, hey, we can get back up. We don't need to stop when it gets hard. And the best, most successful people in the world, think about the people you look up to the most in business, they didn't give up when the going got hard. They didn't think, oh, you know what, the grass is greener over here. That's going to be an easier thing for me. They would dig in and grind and switch up their tactics and try new things, and they would fall flat on their face time and time and time again until they got it right. And so I just allowed that situation to happen to me, my loss of rank, my loss of income, everything else, to just show up as the example for my team. And I was very honest with them, and I was like, look, I know the skills that got me here. We're going to do this together. We're going to relearn some of these skills together, and we're going to come up together, okay? If I can do this, you can do this. Like, here I am, flat on my face, you know, like lost a couple ranks. I'm not at the top of the tree anymore. It's okay. If I'm saying it's okay for you. And anyone that still wants to be here and wants to work with me, I want to work with you. And so really, I think that this slowdown in business, whether you've had, you know, catastrophes happen to you or not, or whether you've lost your best leader or not, I think that there's a silver lining. I really do. Whereas I miss my leader so much, and I wish she was still on our team, it enabled me to dig way down deep on her, like line 6, and I found 3, not one, not 2, 3 freaking rock stars. And I never would have worked with them because they were buried so down in her strong leadership leg. I never would have had the chance to mentor these people, you guys. And it's been a month and a half of mentoring them, and 2, well, 1 in her leg and 1 in another person's leg, have already made the top 50 of our company for enrolling, like in a month and a half. And so whereas I'm still at a crappy rank, it's going to take a couple months for me to rebuild. And, you know, at the end of spring, I was in this like leadership mode and doing all these things, and I'd kind of slow down on enrolling. I now know I have to shift my gears, and I'm back in the trenches just like anybody else. I'm back to hardcore enrolling, and I'm back to running my group, and I'm back to sales, because that's what built me here. But it's okay, because I know how to, we all know how to do that. If you're in this group, you know how to work your business, and you know how to lead by example. And so I really chose to not let it destroy me, and I chose to look at this slowdown and any hits we've taken as a gift. 1, anyone that has not decided to leave your company when the going got hard, or when their sales got kind of crappy, or if they weren't really willing to relearn or pivot, anyone you're left with is a gosh darn gift. They are a potential emerging leader. They are showing grit and determination. Dear God, I want to work with those people. Thank you. I don't care if my team is half of what it used to be. If it is filled with business builders, or people that can work through hardships, or people that are willing to stay in, you know, in the dirt, in the mud with me and grind our way out of it, I feel way more blessed to have a team of 800 that want to work versus a fluffy team of 1,600 that really only want it when it's easy. Because it's going to continue. There will be cycles, and it will get hard again. And I want those people. I want those people that want to stay. Okay? It's even in the slow seasons. And remember, guys, this is sales. There are going to be plenty of slows. We have got to expect it, and we have to plan for it. So I think it's a blessing, personally. It has allowed me and opened up doors for me to work and develop leaders that I never would have before. It has allowed me to lead by example. I can fall flat on my face and show my team, I know how to get up from this. Let me show you how we dig our way out of this. Hey, let's do this together. Let's learn together and try new things together. And let's make mistakes. Let's make failure a normal thing that is expected in business. Failing is how we get to the top and reach our goals. And lastly, I want to talk about focusing on what we can control. We cannot focus on the fact that things are opening up again. We can't focus, like in our business, we can't focus on the fact that nail salons are open again. We can't change that. That's out of my control. But there are so many things that I can control that will help my business and my team, especially, and my mindset. And that is, I can control my team culture, my vibe, my community. I can make my people feel so loved. I can make them feel so important. I can highlight and spotlight my leaders. I can put them on a pedestal. I can praise them. I can post to their personal page telling their friends and family how amazing they are. I can treat my customers with the utmost respect. I can send them handwritten cards telling them how much I appreciate them. I can treat people good. I have extra time now. I can treat them extra good. I can control the vibe on my team, the culture of my community, and I can work on it. We have a book club. We have a walking club. I have more time in my day. I have half the people on my team. I'm going to love on them. It's going to be magic, and it is magic, actually. I can develop systems and processes. It wasn't until this crazy slowdown that I was even able to comprehend systems and processes. And it wasn't until I had Kimberly as a coach, thank you, Kimberly, where I was able to connect those dots and put it together. And so now when my team blows up again, I'm ready. Like, I'm using this time, and I have so much more in my tool bag than I did when I first started and built that huge team. Now is a time for self-development. Now is a time to read books on leadership, to be developing your mindset, to be learning how to meditate, and to be trickling this down to your leaders and your emerging leaders. Are you talking about mindset? Okay? You're not going to have leaders on your team, and you need leaders on your team. You cannot lead all by yourself. The best way to grow a successful business is to grow other leaders. And you do this with mindset, you guys. You have got to be working with them on it, and it doesn't happen naturally. It doesn't just happen from a podcast. You have to be taking situation by situation and talking to them about, okay, I see your issue. This is how a stylist or distributor, whatever company you're with, this is how a distributor would think. This is how a leader would handle the situation. Do you see the difference in thinking? Can you wrap your brain around how you might have used to think and how a leader might handle the situation? So we can work on this and develop leaders that are going to expand our teams too. It does not have to be all of us. We can really focus on mindset right now. This is what we need to do. We can revamp our business. When times get tough and sales go down, you cannot keep doing the same thing over and over again and then sit there and complain that your business is struggling. That is a time to pivot, okay? That's when you try something new. I had never really done a ton of parties until my business started to struggle. And so I've had to really retrain our entire team culture on what we do. Because we were a COVID team. We didn't have to host parties. Like, we were just popping off our VIP groups and people would just buy. And people were enrolling like crazy. Now we really have to revamp how we run our business. And I'm loving it. I love learning something new. I love being in the trenches with my people. And I'm allowing them to lead. Like, they are coming up with great ideas and they're going live and they're training and they're posting their inspirational messages and they're leading too. And so it has been incredibly powerful. And I'm actually so glad. I might not be making the money I used to make. And I may not have the fancy rank title that I used to make, but I'm 100% certain that long term, I'm not talking short term, I'm talking long term, my business will be more sustainable and I will reach a better rank and have a better paycheck in a year and a half than I would have if this slowdown and this lull and my leader leaving had not have happened to me. So I think that there's a silver lining in everything. And I think that if your business is struggling, I think it's about flipping your mindset. Right now, yeah, maybe your paycheck took a hit. We're in sales. You should expect that. Like, you should never expect a solid paycheck. And remember, this is so important for us to remember, even as leaders, because I know you probably teach this to your teams. Remember when they freak out and they're like, oh, my sales aren't as good this month? And you're like, girl, let's get it together. It's okay. We're gonna come back from this. But we, as leaders, need to remember that 2 steps forward and 1 step back is still a step forward. Your path to success is never going to be a straight linear line. It just will not happen in sales. It's going to be like this, and it's going to wobble, and it might dip really low until eventually you're going to be up here again. If you keep grinding and you don't give up and you maintain a positive mindset and you set the example for your teams and you love the heck out of them and make them feel so valued, because people generally don't want to leave somewhere that they love and they feel so happy about and they feel like they're a part of a culture. So we can do a lot to make people really love where they're at. We can focus on that. We can change that. There's a lot of other ideas I'm covering with my team right now in this lull of the time. It gives us a time to revamp, like I said. Things like adding personal relationships, working on those personal connections, because that's what builds a business. I don't care how many parties you do. If you're not working on personal connections, you're not going to have a sustainable sales business. Things like how they can spoil their customers. What are free ways that you can do for your customers? What's a message or a handwritten card that you can send to them? Have you developed a YouTube channel? Now is the time. Get out there. Get your face out there. Work on things that you can use. Have you learned how to involve your children in your business? Can you start giving them jobs and teaching them things while you're slow so that when you're busy, that can take a weight off of you? Have you learned a new social media channel? Like I'm in the process of really learning Instagram. Some people want to learn TikTok. Maybe there's other things out there. This is the time. Get yourself relevant. Like if your business is slow, put yourself out there on different channels. Basic customer service, how to take care of your teams, and then I'm really working with developing leaders. So I just wanted to jump in and share my story that I have really been knocked down 3 ranks right now, and it's okay. Like I am as happy as I've ever been. I am more grateful than ever to be doing what I'm doing because I'm surrounded by people on my team that are sticking with me, and I'm surrounded by people that want to work, and it's kind of refreshing. I'm okay with people not always sticking around. If they want an easy job, if they don't want to work and they don't want to pivot, maybe this isn't the gig for them, and that's okay too. So don't get discouraged. Keep plugging through it. Flip your mindset, you guys, and focus on the things that you can control on your team. And I think long-term picture, a year or 2 years from now, we're going to be in a place that we never thought that we could be. So thank you so much for having me. If you have questions, please throw it in the comments. I would love to respond back. Okay, I see Jackie says, what self-development books and podcasts have been most impactful for you? Ooh, this is a great question. I love self-development. And as a leader, it has to be a non-negotiable. You cannot make yourself better if you're not working on yourself. And this is something 30 minutes of my day that has to be done. I don't care if I don't talk to customers or my team. I have got to work on my mindset. For baby beginners, like when I'm working with leaders, 2 of the books I always recommend is Dale Carnegie's How to Win Friends and Influence People and The Energy Bus. It is a game changer. You've got to get all your people to listen. I like the audiobooks. It's like an hour and a half. It's super fast. The Energy Bus is a game changer, okay? It teaches that flip mindset and how to lead. It's like beginner leadership type stuff. For more advanced leadership, some of the podcasts I love Kristen Boss. I love Rob Dial. He's called The Mindset Mentor. And I really like Josh Coates, but he dropped some F-bombs, so if you're sensitive to those, he's probably not your guy. Let's see, what are some of I have so many books. If you're looking on building team culture, there's a book called The Culture Code by Daniel Coyle, which I absolutely adore. It's changed the way and the dynamics of my team completely. It's amazing. There's a great one that's called How to Build Network Marketing Leaders. Sorry, I have a whole library over here of books I've read. I read them a few times. The first time I just read them, and then I go through and I highlight and I make marks of things that are impactful for me. And I like having books here so I can loan them out to my leaders that are local and they can come and grab them and borrow them and give them back. I love John L. Maxwell books. I love Brian Tracy. There are so many good books out there. There's another one by Josh Coates that's called F Leadership. It's F and then like the asterisk. There are so many incredible books and podcasts. But if I'm driving somewhere and it takes 30 minutes, you bet I have a podcast on. You bet my kids are in the back learning about mindset too. But I'm not going to waste that time. If I go on a walk to clear my head or get away from my million kids and dogs, I'm mindsetting. I'm listening to a podcast. I'm developing myself as a leader because I can take what I've learned back and trickle it down to my team. Okay, thank you so much. I know my time is probably up. Yeah, Janice, I agree. We can panic for 5 minutes, and we're allowed to feel that. You can wallow in your pity for a damn day, and then you get up. And I wouldn't fake the funk with your teams either. You tell them. Be like, I'm really hurting right now. I miss my friend as a leader, but I'm okay. Watch me get back up and watch me rebuild my team. And we're going to do this together. It's okay. It's okay to say. And I think our teams need to see us fail and be okay with failing. Like, we don't have to come off as this perfect leader. We should show them how many times we've fallen flat on our face, because it's a lot for me. I'm just scrolling really quick down. Oh my gosh, if you guys haven't read How to Influence People, it's like an old book. It is a game changer. It is like People 101. If you don't have people skills or your team is struggling with people skills or interacting with other team members or downlines, it is gold. It is really gold with everything. Enrolling, sales, how to get people to like you. Like some people just aren't likable. If they would read this book, I think that they might connect the dots. There's another book called How to Lead with Intention, How to Listen with Intention. Great. There's a couple great books on emotional intelligence. If you're a leader, I highly, highly suggest educating yourself on emotional intelligence. The most successful people in all businesses don't have the highest IQ. They do have the highest EQ, which is emotional intelligence. And that's when you combine your learned intelligence, your smarts, your book smarts, with your emotions, and you learn how to mix them together to work with people. Other than that, you guys, please get out there and kill it. Please, if you're having a hard time, focus on the things you can control. Know that we will bounce back from this. This is just sales, and find the silver line. There is plenty of silver linings out there for you in this time, this slowdown time. But have a great day, and thank you so much for having me.